Well, welcome back to The Truth is Viral. I'm your host, Bob Powell, and this is going to be one interesting show. It's going to be interesting because I'm not going to stop broadcasting until I've raised enough money to make my way to the Bundy Ranch in Nevada. Now, seeing as how this is the very first time that I've ever used Google Plus and Hangout Live, let's just make sure that it's working. Hey, it is working. Okay, cool. It's most excellent. We're going to have Pete Santilli give us a call here in just a very few minutes, and he's going to give us an update on what's going on the ground in Bunkerville, Nevada. And while we're waiting for that, there's a couple of videos that I want to play for you because what we're up against, folks, is just plain evil. And this is only the beginning. So I've got a video I'm going to start with. It's called, this is bigger than Clive and Bundy. This is another rancher, a neighbor of Cliven's apparently. And what he has to say about why this is so important, I think you should really take it to heart. Let's see if I can get this thing to work. Okay. Now you can see and hear me, I guess. Okay. Yeah, what this rancher said was true. This is going to be just the beginning of their grab of our natural resources, our land, our water, and they're not giving it. They're not doing anything good with it. They're selling it to corporate interests. So that instead of Clive and Bundy ranching and raising cattle as he has for the last, as his family has for the last 150 years in that same spot, they want to sell that land to corporate interests so they can mine or frack or sell water. This whole tortoise thing is just a red herring. They don't care about the tortoises. They're killing the tortoises. They don't have enough money to take care of them, so they're euthanizing the tortoises. And as long as we're talking about the tortoises, let's talk about natural selection, shall we? These guys love to talk up evolution. Well, if it's the tortoise's time to go, it's the tortoise's time to go. When was the last time any of you guys had turtle soup? It's not that great, let me tell you. But yeah, we're going to get a hold of good old Pete Santilli here and see if we can get him to give us an update on what's going on in Nevada right now. Petey, where are you, Petey? So if you are expecting this to be a quick and easy video, forget it. I'm going to be on as long as it takes to raise enough money to get myself out to Nevada, because that's how important this is, guys. If you've been watching my show for any length of time at all, you know how sick my wife is. And you know how much I love her. I don't particularly want to leave her alone. But this next coming up week will be a week between chemos. I've got somebody that can stay with her. And it's just that important that I feel like I need to be out there. And when I first heard about this, it felt like I had been struck by thunder. God telling me, you need to go. I don't know why. Maybe God's trying to get me out of this funk that I've been in for the last 6 weeks or so since we found out that her cancer had spread. I'll be honest with you. The last 6 weeks have been a living hell. But we are persevering. Trying to persevere. It's not been easy. As long as we're talking about truth here. The last 6 weeks I've done almost nothing. Except crawl. You want to crawl in the hole and die. Well, I don't have that luxury. when I make a promise, I do my absolute best to keep it. And when my daughter died, unsaved, which is totally my fault. I stood in waist-deep snow. And I held her ashes in my hands. Hold on just 1 second here. Hi, everybody. This is But Not Rashly. All I've got left, except for that promise that I made her. The promise that I made to God. That I would never again be ashamed to proclaim to anybody that would listen that Jesus Christ is King. So, yeah, I have to laugh when, see, I'm actually a libertarian politically. People on the right call me a liberal loon. People on the left call me a Nazi neocon. I'm none of that. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm a monarchist. And my king is coming. Your king is coming. And if you're not ready to meet him, well, you're in deep trouble. Because you don't have much time left to get right with God. None of us do. We are about to enter the tribulation, folks. And I am not a pre-tribulation rapture kind of guy. It may happen that way. I don't know. I'm a scribe, not a theologian. And even among theologians, opinions vary. And these are all very smart guys. Some believe in a pre-trib rapture. Some believe in a post-trib, pre-wrath rapture, or mid-trib. That's kind of where I'm at the moment, where the church will go through persecution, but we will be spared the great day of wrath. There's post-tribulation rapture scenario, and no tribulation or no rapture at all. And you know, the people that have come up with these various theories are a lot smarter than I am. I don't have conversations with God. All my conversations have been one way so far. I don't hear voices. Nobody tells me what. No, nobody tells me what to think. I like to figure it out for myself. And as I said, I'm thinking it's going to be a post-trib pre-wrath rapture, if there is one at all. So I look at it like as if I were a Boy Scout. Okay, just be prepared. Hope for a pre-tribulation rapture, but be prepared as if there will not be one at all. Do you really want to entrust the safety of your family to someone else's interpretation of Scripture? I think it's obvious that men have twisted God's Word throughout history. And a lot of the religion on earth, and I'm including Christian religion, Jewish religion, and Muslim, just about any religion that you want to include, has been the worst thing to ever happen to this world. The Crusades in Muslim aggression during the same time, they were battling back and forth for hundreds of years. I don't know about you, but I serve a loving God, and He's the kind of God that doesn't want to force you to worship Him. He's our Father. We are His children. And what does any father want? He wants his children to love Him. He wants us to want to love Him, to want to do what we're supposed to do. Any religion that says, if you don't believe the way I believe, I'm going to cut your head off, well, it's no religion at all. It's a death cult. But, you know, this isn't all about slamming Muslims. I'm just going to talk here for a while. Let's say something about the Catholics now. I love Catholics. Most of my friends are Catholic, actually. But I want you to think for a second. See, remember I said that, you know, religion was the worst thing that ever happened to this world? Well, a personal relationship with Jesus Christ is probably the best thing that will ever happen to you or anybody else. And once you take on that mantle, the character of Christ, you've got to live it. You've got to act it. Do you think that Jesus Christ would have a golden scepter, golden cups, the little golden plates that they put the communion crackers on, golden statues, all that other garbage, while people in this world are starving? That's what bothers me the most about the Catholic Church. It has nothing in common with what Jesus Christ taught. They lost their way. You know, I know that Catholics themselves, the people, are good, decent people, and they're just trying to find their way in life. But the church has got a problem. It's infested with pedophiles. And when they're found out, are they punished? No. They're sent to another parish where they can molest more children. It has nothing to do with the character of Christ. Evangelicals. Love you guys. $2,500 suits. Lexus, $50 million mega church. And there's still people starving in this country. Where's the character of Christ in that? So yeah, we are making strawberry oatmeal and a little cinnamon toast and some cottage cheese with fresh fruit on it. That's Dawn's favorite breakfast. And even though it's almost 1 o'clock, she's going to be waking up here in a few minutes and she's going to be hungry. So, in addition to covering the standoff at the Bundy Ranch, I think I'll use this opportunity to do a lot of things that I've wanted to do. Talk about a lot of things that I've wanted to talk about. I just haven't had the opportunity to do it. You know, it takes about 70 hours to put together a full 45-minute show. And with all the extra work that I've had to do around here lately, I just don't have the time. So there are a lot of things that I wanted to talk about. I just haven't had the opportunity. And we're going to clear that up during this broadcast. And I'll also give you a little TTiV retrospective. We'll play some of the most well-liked episodes, some of the most important, and get you up to speed on what's really going on in this country and in this world. Okay. You know, let's talk to Pete in a little while. He's about to go live himself. It's almost 1 o'clock, and he'll be on the Guerrilla Media Network. We'll stream him live. I don't think he will mind. And we'll talk to him and see what's going on at the Bundy Ranch, and we'll talk about it live as Pete's on the air with me. Okay, where am I at? What am I doing? Okay, I need a bowl. Hope you guys don't mind hanging out with me today. I've figured out a way to take this little show on the road. That's going to be really interesting. Because I've got prescriptions to pick up, to get filled. Got to go out and do stuff. And ooh, this is my lawyer. I wonder if he'll be telling me that I can go to Nevada. I hope so. Let's find out. Hello there. Yes, sir. I'm fine, sir. How are you? Okay, good deal. Okay, good deal. I'll do that. Thank you very much, Dave. I appreciate all your help, brother. Yeah, you too. Have a good day. Bye-bye. Okay, that was my lawyer. He said that I can go to Nevada. I had to get permission from the district attorney because I'm currently out on bail. You guys didn't know that. Well, some of you didn't. Uh, the reason for that, I'll I'll go ahead and clue you in just a little bit. Can't say much though because it's a pending investigation. Don't you hate it when the government says that? Well, now I know why. I know why they say it. Uh, my new grandson Jaden, my 15-year-old Adam's little boy. Uh, I went over to visit him. Took Adam with me, and a situation arose where I felt like my life was in danger, and the lives of the 3 children that were with me were in danger. And I took steps to neutralize that danger. And I did neutralize that danger. Well, now now I have to appear before the state to explain myself because they charged me with assault. I am smiling though because my lawyer says I'm not going to spend a minute in jail. So that's good. He's all paid off. All my fines are all paid off. I didn't really have any fines yet. I don't know that I will, but everything with that's good. That's one of the things that I have a problem with. Christ says that we're supposed to love our enemies. And believe me, I'm trying. But some people are just so evil. My mother will be here from Illinois in a few hours. Haven't seen her for 2 years. She came up to see her grandson. Both of them. I've got 2 now. I had 2 grandsons right at Christmas time. But Jaden's folks won't let my mother see him. She's 85 years old. She's got cancer. They're just being mean. They're torturing my son, not letting him see his own son. So, evil people. And I'm trying to love them. I am. I've gotten to the point where I don't think about putting his balls in a vice, though. Had I done anything wrong, I would apologize. But I was simply acting to defend my children. Whether I'm innocent or guilty makes no difference. I would do it again. Because I felt in that moment that our lives were in danger. And knowing now what I knew then, I'd do it again. Okay, it's 1:05. Let's go check out Pete's show and get the latest from the Bundy Ranch. I'll try to get him on the phone, and we'll have a exclusive one-on-one with Mr. Pete Santilli.
That's SRN's Jeremy Howells. A federal judge has approved bankrupt Detroit's plan to settle a bad multi-million-dollar pension debt deal with 2 banks.
Okay. Not yet. We'll just wait just a little bit. Okay. What am I doing? Yeah, she likes cottage cheese and fruit. A lot of bland stuff. Because she just really doesn't even have much of an appetite. That's all I can do to get her to eat this. So we'll put some mandarin oranges on the cottage cheese, some pineapple chunks. This is all healthy stuff. And 106, let's see if Pete's on the air now.
Test. Allison C is truly an incredible adventure.
Well, not yet. Need to figure out a better way to pull these out of here. Good stuff. See, what I like to do, just to save a little bit of money and to make sure that we've got fresh fruit, these plastic containers of fruit. Well, what you do, if you want to save about 50 cents per thing, maybe 75 cents, is you buy it in a can, right? And you just keep on refilling these plastic jugs. Wash them out, refill them, wash them out, refill them. That way you've always got a sealed container for your fruit. You don't have to put tin foil or plastic wrap over the top of this can. I think it was my mom that told me that you shouldn't even put cans in a refrigerator. Something to do with food poisoning or something. I don't know. That's news. But you want to know what I've discovered? Butter. Learned from chemistry that margarine is 1 hydrogen molecule away from being plastic. Did you know that? The things that they try to make us eat. Yet butter comes right out of a cow. There's nothing more natural and healthy than butter. All this scientific research that they've got going on, don't believe it. Don't believe any of it. They give you vaccinations and your kids end up with autism or some kind of mental deficiency. And then they give you medications for that. You know what I love? Actually, it's just ironic. I watch these television commercials for antidepressants, and what is the major side effect of most of these antidepressant medications? An increased risk of suicide. Well, they've got it gamed. They've got it gamed right down to the wire. Pete's got to be on by now.
The illustrious Pete Santilli, who is on the ground in Bunkerville, Nevada, with the Bundy family and many protesters in the Bundy Ranch. Alongside me is the lovely Susanna Cole. Hello, Susanna.
Hello, Patrick. How are you today?
Yes.
Let's go with Pete for a little bit while
Yes, lots of incoming ordinances as usual. So we're hoping to get back into the action. We've been up all night surveying the footage coming on the live stream. If you haven't found it yet, the Ustream. What's the Ustream link? If people want to go, where can they find that, Susanna?
They can find it posted on our Facebook, and yeah, and I'll put it up on our. Well, if somebody could please put that up on our network, that would be great.
Yes, yeah, the great interviews. Pete was interviewing a lot of the people who were just arriving to the camp, some of the locals as well from Mesquite. Great. Racial stuff.
Very.
Yeah, I mean, some of it was tear-jerking, to be totally honest with you. It's just really something special is going on there in Bunkerville and Mesquite. And so, you know, support for the Bundys is just increasing by the day, Susanna. I think the numbers are going to be substantially higher by the end of today. There's already quite a few people arrived. I think, 30 or 40 people arrived last night.
Yes, during the evening, we had quite a few people just walking in.
Yeah, if you've got the ability to get to the Bundy Ranch, get there now.
Ken from Michigan
You need to stay in between the Bundys and the feds. I mean, these guys have sniper rifles trained on this family, folks. This is wrong.
One of our new hosts on the Rural Media Network. He came.
I need to get out there.
He's there on the scene.
And I need you to help me get out there. So please go to bobpowell.blogspot.com, hit that PayPal button, and you know, help me raise the money that I need to get out there. Oh, they're talking about me.
Called into the show last night, and Bobby's probably on the road. I don't know if he's driving or flying from Michigan.
Flying.
If he's driving,
you got to be back for court on the 21st.
24 hours. If he's, you know, not sleeping regular hours, but yes, he should be there by this evening. So I have dropped Pete a message saying that Bobby's en route to give him support. So, Susanna, are there any...
Peter's a little behind. I think he misunderstood what I said yesterday.
Our listeners should be aware of with regards to goings-on down there in Nevada.
There's quite a few... well, I'm getting a phone call here, but I mean, mostly right now they are into getting ready for the arrival of some of the states, excuse me, some of the states' biggest,
who took my cinnamon?
You know, advocates for the Bundys. State reps are coming in. Dean Heller is one of them, I know, and Sheriff Mack and the constitutional sheriffs. They're coming in to provide not only support.
Sheriff Mack will be one of my guests. I've got to email out to him to call me when he gets a chance.
And that's really a good thing. You know, I know that militia from all over the United States have arrived. So I think everything is relatively calm right now. I think they're going into the strategy phase, and I think it's good. I think everything's really good. There's not been any more confrontation that I've been able to see, but they did yesterday, as you guys saw. They tore down the free speech area, the First Amendment area that the BLM set up, and that was a good thing. You know, so that's getting a great response. They didn't have permission to do it, so you know, it was a very activist thing to do. Civil disobedience, which is great. You know, so I think that Pete's ready to come on. If Brett is ready, he's talking to me. If Brett is ready to connect him, that would be great. Brett, you can connect him the same way that you did yesterday. But I mean, people are showing up. Quite a bit of media. I mean, last night CBS showed up with their big satellite trucks, and
no doubt lying.
And, we have that up on Ustream. And you know what? The girl, all it was taping the girl. She did like a she did like her name was Nicole something or the other, and she did like a little
Go feed my wife.
and then it went silent, and then she did the outro, and we've heard reports saying that what came in between was totally against the Bundys and for the environmentalists. So but she was welcome, treated very nicely, and she came on and said what she had to say.
After we went off air yesterday, the CNN news crew, after they had the press conference, I believe that was Eamon Bundy,
Yes.
led off the press conference yesterday, which we streamed out live on the Pete Santilli's Ustream channel. And after that, CNN news crew had done an interview with Eamon Bundy, and then he went to interview Pete.
Right.
And I actually recorded that interview because Pete left his phone on, so I recorded most of it. But no, this is right before the press conference, and you should have seen the loaded questions that CNN was asking Pete. Basically, they said Pete would answer a question while you're out here. He'd say so. He's all, this is what the CNN news guy said. I don't have his name, but I heard it. I recorded it as well. He said, "What makes you think that the Bundys own all of this land, all 600,000 acres?" I mean, and Pete said, Pete's too smart for that, obviously. So he said, "I never said that, and neither has Cliven Bundy." So now, and then he made another. The mainstream media is going on this line that the Bundys are wrong because they haven't paid their fines, or they haven't paid their fees, totally ignoring the argument which is on the table. Right. So if ladies and gentlemen of the United States of America and further afield, okay, this is what we're dealing with. Okay, you have a network broadcasters, the big ones like ABC, CBS, CNN, and MSNBC, and even Fox to a large degree. Okay, I
heard about that. Yeah.
Okay, all of these networks are basically adversarial towards the American people or anything, any agenda that has to do with liberty. Okay, unless it's framed in a minority civil rights sort of fashion, okay, then it's okay. It's trendy right now to do that. But if you say they will never utter the word Constitution, that is a word of profanity in mainstream broadcasting. That's akin to heresy. Okay, so here they just tried to cattle herd a number of people yesterday in these interviews. They've come to make them look bad, to make them look like they're wackos, to make them look like they're extremists, domestic terrorists, or they're just completely delusional and they're out there for nothing. That's what the broadcast media is doing, and that's what they do to get you on board for whatever bogus military war that they're cooking up over there in Washington, D.C., and there's another one this summer they're cooking up as well. You better believe it, folks. That's whose side they're on. They're not on the people's side. And time again, we can prove that, and we have the recordings to prove it from this week as well. But we'll be right back after the short Rents Network break. We'll be back with the Pete Santilli Show, so just hold on.
Yeah, they'll be back in just a little bit. While they're going, let's talk about this war, this coming war that he was talking about in Ukraine. That's something I've had a few thoughts on. Maybe I should share those. I'm a history buff. I can look at a map with lines drawn on it and tell you approximately at what point in history that map was made. I'm very good at geography too. I can look at a map of Europe with no lines, and somebody can point to a particular place, and I'll tell you what country that's in. Probably even get you close to the city that they're pointing to. But see, the thing about Europe is that it's all well, it's not homogeneous. In France, they speak French. In Germany, they speak German. Spanish in Spain. See, before the wave of immigration, mostly Muslim, over the last 50 years, before World War II, Europe pretty much stayed along nationality borders, except for, you know, the Holy Roman Empire, stuff like that. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that a lot of the lines, the country lines that separate one country from another since the end of World War II have nothing to do with who lives in those countries. They're artificial lines. You know, 1917, they took an area called Transjordan, turned it into Lebanon, Syria, and Israel. Well, it wasn't Israel yet, but you know, they called it Palestine. At the end of World War I, when the Ottoman Empire fell, you had countries divided up along political lines, not paying any attention to the people that lived in those countries. For example, let's talk about the Kurds for a minute. They are an ethnic group, just like the Germans, just like the French. They've got their own Indo-European language, but they're spread out over Turkey, Iraq, and Iran. They don't have a country of their own. So as a result, the PK, I think it is, or PKK, something like that. Anyway, they call themselves the Peshmerga. They're Muslims, and they're freedom fighters. They aren't terrorists. I love the Kurds, I really do, because they were the only allies that we could trust when we went into Iraq. I like allies that we can trust. Every now and then, you come across one. Well, the same thing applies in Ukraine and in the Crimea. You know, at the beginning of the 1900s, it was called Russian Crimea. You know, the eastern part of Ukraine, most of the people there are ethnic Russians. They speak Russian. But this fake boundary separated families. Separated with an imaginary boundary an ethnic group. So now that Russia has brought Russian Crimea back into the fold, and it looks like they very well may take eastern Ukraine, the Russian-speaking part of it, the powers that be won't start a war over that. It's completely made up. What would I do if I were king of the world? I'd let Putin have the eastern half of Ukraine. Anywhere that there's a Russian-speaking person, let him have it. Just because it's right. Give the Kurds their own homeland, too. And while we're at it, why don't we recognize the right of the Jewish state to exist exactly where God told them to be since the days of Abraham? You know, the Muslim claim over Jerusalem is a claim of conquest. Muslims think that any territory that they have ever conquered, anywhere that they've ever raised a flag or planted a mosque, planted a flag or raised a mosque, that is Muslim territory for now and forever. Well, folks, the Dome of the Rock, the Al-Aqsa Mosque, the third holiest site in Islam, is built on top of the Jewish temple. Who was there first? Forget about who was there first. Who did God promise the land to? And the Israelis today are only sitting on a very small sliver of that land because God gave Abraham as an eternal inheritance all the land from the Nile to the Euphrates. And they're only sitting on a very small part of that. I don't think, Israel has never received their full inheritance, but they're on this little tiny piece. 6 million Jews surrounded by 30 million Arabs that want to kill them. And don't think for a second that they don't. Hamas charter, their constitution, to this day says that their main goal is to destroy Israel. Who can negotiate with people like that? Let's go back to the Guerrilla Media Network, see what Pete's got to say, and we'll talk more about this later.
We got to muster the first regulars, Ken. So we got our core regulars there. So hopefully more will come on board as the weekend progresses.
Well, this is the first time I've seen a picture of you or Susanna. Some guy told Susanna once he wanted to hear her voice right before he died. I want to see her face right before I die. I don't want to die anytime soon. No.
Yeah. So Ken, please allow me to tell the story about how we met. Okay.
All right.
So last night, this nice gentleman was right near the campfire. I think it was when I saw him. He was wandering around. And I've been greeting everybody. As not because I'm in charge here or anything, but because this is a camp of convening like-minded individuals. So I wanted to introduce myself. So I walked over to him. And when I walked up, I overheard him saying, has anybody seen Pete Santilli? I heard he left the camp. And he was speaking to a couple of individuals who were sitting down at the campfire. And when I walked up to him, he looked at me and he said, can you tell me where I can find Pete Santilli? And I hugged Ken, and he just looked at me like I had 10 heads. And I hadn't said anything. Okay? And I hugged him. And I said, are you Ken from Michigan? And I hugged him, and he looked at me weird. He said, where can I find Pete Santilli? And he still didn't know who I was. Even me speaking to him, okay, I said, I can find Pete Santilli. I said, that's me. That doesn't sound like you. And that's a God's honest true story when we met right there, right in front of the campfire. And then he didn't want to kick my butt for hugging him. So I thought it was a funny story. You guys cracking up?
It's a great story. It is. He was totally confused.
Yeah, he had no idea what I looked like. And my voice sounded different because, when Ken's driving down the road in his car on his Bose stereo system, right?
Mm.
Got some power there. I guess did I sound like, what did I sound like to you, Ken?
When last night?
Yeah.
You just you didn't have the same voice you had on the radio.
No?
No. Not to me.
I sound much more of a man in person?
Yeah, you got a deeper voice. I don't know.
In real life?
Yeah, I think on the radio you put on a certain voice.
Really?
No, no, you sound the same. I just didn't pick it up last night.
Yeah, he didn't pick it up. That was so funny, though. It was great. It's great to see Ken in Michigan here. Now, Ken in Michigan is the perfect model type of person that if Ken in Michigan can get here to Nevada, anybody can get here to Nevada. Wouldn't you guys agree? Ken, how old are you?
70.
Ken is 70 years old and jumped in a car and drove 35 hours to get here.
Wow.
70-year-old man,
Wow.
retiree, on Social Security.
4 hours.
And 4 hours of sleep, showed up here, and I was able to hug him at the campfire last night here at a very patriotic camp here in Clark County, Nevada. So, awesome story, right, Patrick?
Oh yeah. It's great. 35 hours. So Ken, clearly you didn't stop to at any Motel 6s or red carpet inns. You just shotgunned it all the way to Nevada.
Right. I stopped at a restaurant and kicked my seat back and slept for about 4 hours and hit the road. And after that, I didn't stop. I left Wednesday at 5 o'clock my house in Macomb Township, Michigan. And I got here last night about 1:30, and Pete was still up. So.
Of course he was.
Yeah. All right. So, go ahead.
You know, I was just saying, Pete. So yeah, quick, go ahead and continue. We're gonna say, but you guys, how many hours of sleep are you getting each night?
Unfortunately, haven't been able to sleep through the night. I've been able to catch in between, you know, the busy show time. What happens thereafter? I've actually at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon forced myself to take a nap. Been going on, you know, anywhere between 2 to 4 hours, and then I've been staying up all night long. Things, believe it or not, I've been pretty busy here the past couple of nights in the middle of the night, and I've also been able to get some live streams out and do some updates. Now we're getting here in the middle of the night. We've got satellite trucks. We've had live reporting back east. We did that first thing in the morning at I think it was 4:30 in the morning. So are we going to sleep at night? I bet this is going to be a happy campfire. We're going to be doing campfire songs tonight, right? Ken, you want to sing a few?
No, not me. I'm not too good at singing.
Yeah. So right now, we are in the GMN modified mobile studio, of course, and I'm right in front of Ken's car. Let me read to you what it says on the outside of his vehicle. If you were born in 1980 and after, you may be implanted with a government microchip without your knowledge. Google doctors that remove microchips. StopTheCrime.net. And this is on the side of his car. He's got a Ford vehicle. You've been traveling across the country with that message, haven't you? For 4 years. So I welcome Ken in Michigan here to Nevada for this Bundy Ranch showdown that we'll be talking about. I'll be giving you details here as the show progresses. And are we going to a break?
I think we do have a scheduled break. I think Brett might be asleep at the board or something, or he's just giving us an Olay Matador style to Toro charge right through the break.
Actually, we skipped the break.
Oh, we did? Fantastic. All right.
Wonderful.
So guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I have in my bag of surprises.
Yeah, we skipped it.
Oh, we did? Okay, fantastic. Thank you. In the bag of surprises, somebody that just showed up here, I think within the past hour or so, is a true patriot, somebody that we've connected with here in the past couple of weeks. And when he heard the call, per se, he responded immediately, and he drove up from Arizona. And I'm gonna turn this over and welcome Luca Zana.
Well,
Luca
guys.
Zana is here in the GMN Mobile Studio. Hi guys, it's an honor and a pleasure.
That's all she ate. I would appreciate it if you'd keep her in your prayers. Keep us both in your prayers.
I'm very surprised. Not really, but sometimes, we underestimate the power of the individuals, and we underestimate the power of this alternative that is no alternative anymore. It's becoming more and more mainstream. I tell you guys, I found the GMN, we found each other by accident. Pete found the song, and the story. But I'm so impressed with the job you're doing. And of course, I'm so full of respect for you and for Pete to be here. Was the first one really to bring the attention, national and international level, to be here with this person and putting his life and his mouth. I mean, where the money are, or the money where the mouth is. The bottom line is we are making really incredible changes, and I believe what Pete said, it's up to us. We can stop this right away, immediately. The only way to do, we have to do it. I mean, if all of us, at least even just a few little percent of the American population would take their body and bring it here and just stand in front of this tyranny would at least start to disappear. And the video that Pete was able to put out on YouTube showing the level of tyranny and abuse towards innocent and unarmed men and women, I think that was one of the most powerful things Pete and this GMN has been doing in this situation, bringing all these networks. Everybody's here now, but the point is somebody has to start this sparkle, and I think that was a great job, guys. I'm really proud of you. I could not say no. Even I had a lot of commitment before I had to cancel everything. I was happy to and proud to do it, to be with you.
Anyway, this Yeah, and I've sung his praises as a patriot. We landed on his song, and we connected right away. This is just within the past several weeks. For those of you that don't know the story about it, we can send you back to the previous episode where we described how we came into contact with Luca and brought him to GMN. We were so impressed with his art, with his musical talent. Of course, he's got a radio show, Love, Guns, and Freedom, now that is broadcasting right here, simulcasting as well on Sundays. His show broadcasts on Sundays live out of Arizona at, what time is it? At
11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then we broadcast it as soon as we get the copy of his show on GMN. So we not only welcome GMN, welcome to GMN, Luca Zana, we welcome a man who is truly a patriot that made the commitment. Like you said, he had to set stuff aside and get out here. You guys, can I start talking to you about the general spirit that we have here in the camp? Do we have enough time? We got a couple minutes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, a lot of very energetic, emotional protests. They come together. You get a bunch of guys, of course, and a lot of protests that they want to go, especially hanging out with cowboys out here on the, out on the ranch. We literally have an environment and a spirit and a determination here that involves, mothers of America, stay-at-home moms, working moms are taking time off. I'm going to start really documenting what some of these people are saying and how far they came. Last night, I put up, here's the main thing that I want to communicate as to what I discovered last night. We now have, believe it or not, talk about the small but mighty alternative media, okay, that brought this issue to light. And then the incident with the YouTube video brought a lot of mainstream media attention. Now we have locals who are starting right here. There's 10 to 17,000, depending on what time of the season it is. 10 to 17,000 people here in this local community who are finding out that people are driving from Michigan, they're driving from, like Luca, from Arizona, okay? That they really didn't understand how important this issue was. And they're coming up here to the camp and discovering this thing. And now the word is like spreading like wildfire. We literally have the ability right now to communicate, as a result of the work we've done in the little alternative media, communicate with this local population here. And these people are so, warm and genuine and kind-hearted people. At minimum, they want to rally the locals to come up here and thank the people who care about their community enough and their personal rights enough to drive this far. We've got people coming from all over the country, and we've got potentially 10,000 people here that I don't think at this point in time are going to hesitate to come out here and support us. So, Luca from Arizona. Luca, you brought somebody with you, is that correct?
Yes, I have a friend, and now they are coming tomorrow morning. It's like a little caravan from Mojave County, about 20 people.
Yeah. Luca's bringing people from Arizona, and I can't wait to let the local residents know, from Arizona, from Michigan, from Seattle, all these people coming in from all over the country. Patrick, can you remember a story like this? Even the Occupy movement, they brought people together, but people didn't come in, travel this far so passionately. Can you remember a scenario like this?
No, I haven't. But the anti-fracking movement up in Manchester in the UK, it's a much smaller country, but people have come from all over the country and even outside of the country, from Europe, to join those people in common cause. Against what they believe is a common threat. So they saw that as the front line, Pete, that little strip of land up in Manchester as the front line, and they've just dug their heels in, and that's what I see happening down here at the Riverside camp and the Bundy Ranch, is people are digging in. They're digging in because they realize what this represents symbolically symbolically, and also not just, and also for the family, for the Bundys, and their rights and the fundamental stance which they're taking, which is completely trying to be distorted by the mainstream media, by the way. But we'll get to that later. But yeah, it's a fantastic thing, Pete. I see the cause growing. I see it growing by leaps and bounds as each day passes.
You know what? If you don't mind, did we skip another break?
We don't know, so we're just going to plow through. I just assume that Brett's letting us carry through. I think, yeah.
Fantastic. You know, I need to give you an update on. It's almost. It's kind of like a bittersweet moment in seeing the mainstream media here. I really feel compelled to not bash them because we want to reach as many people as possible. The mainstream media right now, ladies and gentlemen, is doing what we've always begged and asked them to do, and that is to do their job and to report important issues like this. Now, some of them, of course, are kind of skewing the truth a little bit, or they've got their agendas, and I don't know, from what you've seen out there, how is the mainstream media projecting this story? Because you know it very intimately. How are they doing?
Well, I'll let Susanna comment on that, Pete. But I listened to, you had your telephone on, Pete, yesterday when CNN was interviewing you. Do you remember that? Yesterday afternoon before the press conference?
I do not remember. I left it on. Is that correct?
Yeah, you had your phone on. I recorded the conversation. The CNN young guy, I think he was a tall guy, wearing a black polo shirt, and he tried to trip you up on a couple questions, Pete, intentionally.
And you heard that entire exchange?
Yeah, most of it. I recorded it as well.
I want to get your perspective on that. Of course, when we come back from the break, you can take us out. I hear the music.
Yeah, we're going to take a short break, I believe. I hear the music coming in, and we'll be right back after the break. Stick with us.
Okay, while they're doing that,
stop harassing telephone calls, even stop foreclosure and repossession.
while they're in the break with the Rents Media Network, let's talk about something else. Let's talk about the day that the Republic fell, the day that it became a dictatorship. One of our founding fathers, by the name of James Madison, said that whenever all the powers of the legislative, judiciary, and executive branch are in the hands of one man, well, that's the very definition of tyranny. Now, I don't particularly care for scumbag terrorists or anybody that wants to harm Americans. Anwar al-Awlaki was not a nice man, no doubt about that. Samir Khan, the Al-Qaeda propagandist he was with, not a nice man. Am I mourning their deaths? No. I'm sure that they had something nefarious in mind. A lot of people think that al-Awlaki was a CIA plant to begin with, which is why they couldn't bring him back to the United States for trial. Because, imagine him getting up on a witness stand and spilling his guts about all the dirt that he knew. It couldn't be allowed to happen. So I was talking with I had a guest on my show. His name is Nate Wessler. He is the one of the attorneys for the National Security Project at the ACLU. The National Security Project handles the question of targeted assassinations by the Obama administration. And what Nate's going to tell you here is actually going to shock you if I can get it to play. Will you please play? Add video to playlist. I did that. And it's not working. Okay. Well, you know what? Never say die. Improvise, adapt, and overcome. That's what we do. Paste and go. We'll as I start it right here. I got to share my screen with you. That's how I'll show you this video. All right. Yeah,
I've said 100 times at least, what makes these killings most disturbing is the fact that these American citizens were never charged with a crime in a court of law. Now that's antithetical to everything that this country is supposed to stand for. The founders specifically put in the Bill of Rights, the Fifth Amendment, which states that no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. That's very unambiguous language. No person. It doesn't say maybe this person if we think he's a bad guy. Okay? It just doesn't happen like that. That's not what being an American is supposed to be about. If you're accused of a crime, you get your day in a court of law before the federal government can just snuff out your life. So I asked Nate, was there any good reason why the Obama administration didn't even attempt to take this through the courts?
The United States has a fully functioning court system, a court system that is used every day to address serious matters, including allegations of terrorism. So if the government in fact had information that Anwar al-Awlaki was engaged in actual activity that was likely to lead to the deaths of U.S. citizens or others, or that he actually had engaged in that activity, then that should furnish the government with grounds to go to court, seek an indictment, charge him, and proceed to trial. And there are lots of examples in recent years and in the further past of successful prosecutions against people accused of terrorism. And really, without more information from the government, it's impossible to know what kind of evidence they had. If they had to go to court, they would have to produce evidence to the judge or the jury, prove their case, and then a verdict would be issued. Here, the government, the president, and those working for him seem to have taken on the duty of judge, jury, and executioner all by themselves.
Okay, think about what he just said for a moment. That was the ACLU. You can't get much more liberal than the ACLU. He's a lawyer, using the strongest language possible, calling Obama judge, jury, and executioner. Most of us use the term murderer. But being a lawyer, Nate is uber diplomatic. And he can't say that. Well, we'll talk more about this later because, folks, a federal judge has just said that it's okay for the Obama administration to strike at American citizens using drones, even here in the United States. Oh, yeah. Let's return to the Guerrilla Media Network and join Pete Santilli live at Bunkerville, Nevada.
No, this is happening there on the ground where you're at, believe it or not. Yeah, that's why I was so chipper when we came on the air. I just read the article about Hillary being shot with a shoe. I'm sorry, I should never have said it. No, I was just reading about her having a shoe thrown at her in Las Vegas. So yeah, No, this is something that's happening there on the ground. Tyler and Spencer Schillig said they were held for at least an hour after they intentionally crossed underneath a gate blocking the road to Overton Beach at the northern end of Lake Mead National Recreation Area, northeast of Vegas. Tyler Schillig, 28, said they decided to join the protest against the federal roundup of rancher Cliven Bundy's cattle after they heard about the Bureau of Land Management trying to restrict protesters to a pair of First Amendment areas. The federal government has way overstepped its bounds, Tyler Schillig said. For them to try to corral me in a 20 by 40 speech zone is inexcusable. The Schilligs were not arrested, but each of them received a citation for interfering with an agency function. Spencer Schillig, 22, was cited for disorderly conduct and violent behavior before both men were released. So this is just happening. But I think I read something about this earlier today, this morning, but it did happen today. And they're from St. George, Utah, and they were detained, and they were coming down to join the protest and got stopped because they went under a fence onto some property that the government says that they're not supposed to be on, even though it's public lands. It's shut down because there's martial law happening in that area right now.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's the same.
We want to reconnect
people that I was speaking to. Okay.
Yeah, we lost you for about 20 seconds. Go ahead, start over.
Okay, is it the same two individuals yesterday that were stopped by the BLM? I wonder. When did this incident occur?
Yeah, it may have been yesterday because.
Okay, yeah, I'm aware of that situation. I will say this, and I'm going to say this publicly.
Yes, it was yesterday, Pete. Yeah.
Yeah, those guys actually that got themselves in trouble. They were let free by the BLM. They were just released. But I'm going to say that two rogue guys. Actually, their conduct, especially only being two together, raising hell, and really their conduct was inappropriate, and they almost got themselves arrested and probably to be arrested based on how they were acting. That they were released. Now, I'm saying this because anybody within earshot right now needs to know that we have militia members. We have people open carrying. We've got guns. We've got bullets. We've got a whole bunch of people that know how to use them. And those weapons are very well maintained. We have highly skilled individuals. But we don't have not one person that I've spoken to that wants to go to a shoot-'em-up range. It's strictly in self-defense. And everyone wants to conduct themselves appropriately, constitutionally, and lawfully. These guys they stepped out on their own road program. And I don't think that's what's going to help our cause. But everyone else, those are just two of now hundreds and tens of thousands, hopefully here in the coming hours. Only two bad apples. We're going to get some not even provocateurs, just people that are emotionally charged that don't realize how detrimental it's going to be if we get two rogue or one rogue individual spinning off like that. You guys, I want to ask Luke Azana. Luke Azana, did you come here from Arizona with a sidearm?
Yes, I always carry a sidearm, and of course I want to try to be more discreet here because as much as I know that there are open carry laws in the county, I asked. The goal here is, of course, to try to bring the missions, for me, it's to bring awareness about what's going on. And the side weapon is just something that we're here now in a rural area, and I consider for self-defense. But I try to avoid any type of confrontation. I try to avoid any type of instigation. And after what I've seen yesterday on your video there, I think unfortunately we need sometimes to play also tactically smarter. Because when I saw use such force and violence on unarmed women and men, I wonder what I would have done if some of you guys lawfully were carrying a side weapon. Lawfully means in the holster. This is our right. nothing to apologize. At the same time, they probably would have the excuse to start the Boston Massacre. I don't know. So I'm trying to, you know, play. This is not my state. This is Nevada. So I play by the rule and the law of the state and the county here, that we're here. So I have my weapon and I try to play discreet. It's mostly for self-protection. That's pretty much the story.
Do you guys have any questions? Luca, go ahead.
Well,
You guys.
I think yesterday, now what was I going to say? But I think yesterday that, you know, they purposely left all of their weapons. Nobody took a gun just because of that reason. Is that right, Pete?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, even the militia here. I'm telling you, and Luca, you'll be observing this stuff. Even the militia here, you know, at the camp, we're concerned about the personal security of some of the VIPs, like some of the Bundys. People have been receiving death threats. I think the militia has been more concerned about, you know, watching the backs of those individuals that have been receiving threats, including myself.
Right.
And just doing so in strictly a defensive posture. And I've never heard one of them get out of line or say that they're ready to go kill people. It's absolutely strictly with regards to personal protection. And that's, you know, we have a right to do that. We have a right to defend ourselves and defend each other at this point in time. Nothing offensive to them. But Luca, do you have any further thing?
No, I completely agree with that because, you know, yes, it's our right, especially now in the middle of nowhere. Tonight is going to be kind of an interesting scenario. It's a campfire. I don't think we can count, of course, on our local sheriff. I've been sarcastic here. So we are to watch each other. And I think it's important that we exercise that right. But the purpose, I want to remember, you know, probably they will try to play it, the media in a way, make us look like we're a bunch of vigilantes. At this point, it's our duty to be articulate, to be level-headed, and remind them that we live, first of all, in America, and then, of course, the state of Nevada, we are complying with the state of Nevada gun laws. So that's pretty much it.
Oh, that's great. And you know what? I think that I think it was really responsible of them to have enough forethought to leave all of their weapons behind that could cause a problem. And they went there because the people are so frantic about the cattle that are being run with helicopters in the heat and then corralled. And you know, they saw dump trucks, they saw trucks move in with land equipment, bulldozers and such, and I think they called them backhoes, right? And they became very, very concerned. I mean, their cattle is everything to them. So they went up there to call the sheriff, to have a constitutional sheriff come in, and they didn't get the chance to do that.
I think we're going to go to a break, Susanna. I think we've got the top of the hour, first hour break on Rents Radio Network, and also on the GMN stream. Are we all live on the GMN stream today, Susanna?
We are. We're live on GMN. Go there and listen to
all guns blazing, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back after the break with Pete Santilli and Luca Zano live from Bunkerville.
All righty, folks. Alrighty, so while they take a break, this has been an interesting little tutorial on how to use YouTube Live. Never have used it before. I would you know, record on live stream and then download that raw video, the interviews or whatever I was recording, and then I would spice it up with graphics and all that other good stuff. And then upload it to YouTube. Well, that's a great big pain in my butt. So we're gonna give this a try this time and see how well it works. But you see, here's the thing. I only set this first broadcast to last until 2:05, which is 5 minutes from now. So I have to start it up again. Make sure that you stay right here at bobpowell.blogspot.com. This player will reopen in just a couple of minutes, and we will continue this epic live broadcast of The Truth is Viral. And don't forget, while you're at bobpowell.blogspot.com, go to that PayPal button on the right side of your screen, click it, and donate whatever you can towards my war chest to get me out to Nevada, because we need to stand between the federal government and the Bundy family. We cannot allow this to turn into another Waco or Ruby Ridge. And if the people of the United States don't watch very closely what the federal government is doing, that's exactly what's going to happen. I don't know Mr. Bundy myself, but I know men like him. And he will die with his boots on. I'd like to kind of avoid that. Seems like a pretty decent guy. So, like I said, stick around. I'll be back in just a couple of minutes, and we will continue this broadcast of The Truth is Viral Live. Let me figure out how to shut this thing off. Goodness gracious.
Incoming transmission.
Apparently, I've just gotten a death threat. These people just love me. Okay, I'm going to start the new stream now.